Isaiah foretold it. Isaiah says, your God will come to you with his vindication. And his vindication, that word means that he will come bearing the proof that you will know that he is here. And the proof that Isaiah lists for us is that the blind will see, the lame will walk, the deaf will hear, and the mute will speak. So when the crowd sees Jesus perform this miracle, this sign, they say, this is the one of God. He does all things well. And this gospel comes to rebuke me and to remind me that there's too much noise in my life. I'm too busy, I'm too filled with the news cycle, the pandemic, the vaccine, the war in Afghanistan, the whole 9 yards. And if I don't let Jesus take me away from the crowd and away from the noise, he can't open my ears to hear the truth. I served 2 years as a nursing home administrator in Gallup. My wife, my son, and my mortgage were here. My job was 342 miles away. And what I thought was my cross was getting up every Sunday and driving for 4.5 hours to Gallup. And on Fridays when I could come home, driving 4.5 hours back to my home, my wife, my son, and my mortgage. And I thought that was my cross until I got promoted into Casa de Oro, 10.2 miles from my house with a short commute. And I didn't realize that the blessing that I had that I thought was a cross is I would drive with Jesus for 4.5 hours one way. I would spend 9 hours of time with my Lord, arguing with him, fussing with him, praying with my mercy chaplet, and sitting in silence. And when I came to work in Cruces, I gave up that intense time with Jesus. And that's that peace that the gospel reminds us, is because if we don't come away from the crowd, if we don't come away from the noise, then the noise in the crowd will have a disproportionate impact in our lives. And they will stuff us with noise, and we won't hear the truth. And Jesus won't have the opportunity to tell us to be open, that we can speak life, we can speak love, we can speak hope to people. And the reading from James reminds us that the judgment in our heart keeps us from loving and extending mercy. And right now, we don't look at how you came dressed to church. We look at whether or not you have a mask in Walmart. We immediately start judging you based upon, are you wearing a mask? Are you vaccinated? Are you not vaccinated? Did you take the vaccine? Because yada, yada, yada. And so we have this judgment in our hearts based upon the noise in our news cycle. And we no longer conceive that that brother that we see at Walmart is held in existence and given life by the same God that gives us life. And that we are called through Jesus Christ to extend mercy. And we can't extend mercy if the first thing we do is look at them and judge. Because if we judge, then we have a hardness of heart. And we cannot love and we cannot extend mercy. And the virus exists, and we exist, and the whole world exists. And we are all held with the virus in existence by God our Father who loves us. And we are so caught up in fear. And Isaiah tells us, be strong, do not fear. I have come to give you life and hope. We are about to receive Jesus in the Eucharist. We are about to receive all of the mercy of God, all of the love of God, all of the healing of God here in the bread of life. And so what do we have to fear? Why do we fear our neighbor? Why do we judge our neighbor? Because the noise in the world is telling us that our neighbor is a threat to us because. But our neighbor is not a threat to us. Our neighbor is a gift because he is there so that we can show the love of Christ to our neighbor. So do not fear. walk out of here bearing the love of Christ, walk out of here showing the mercy of Christ, and walk out of here knowing that your God has come to be with you.